Hi everyone, my name is James Williams and I'm going to be giving you my informative speech today. So today I'm going to be talking about a subject that's near and dear in my heart, and that's Medford Brewing Company, which I am the brand manager, day-to-day operations manager, and sales manager of. As my full-time job for after I graduate here at Fisher, I'll be going even more full-time with them, but currently I'm with them 40 hours a week. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Medford Brewing Company, who they are, what they do, and a little bit about the craft brewing process at the same time. And by the end of the speech, I'll be able to tell you everything you really need to know about Medford Brewing Company. So I have a question for you guys. What do you get when you have a marketing guru from Britain and an English teacher who teaches high school English that loves craft beer but doesn't drink? You get the two founders of Medford Brewing Company. Medford Brewing Company started in 2016 as a small-based company with only two employees, Nick Balthulo and Max Heinig, the two founders and owners. They started contract brewing at different facilities throughout Massachusetts. So contract brewing is basically when people brew their beer at another person's facility and then package it, send it out to retail without having a physical facility of their own to package and brew in. Medford Brewing Company ended up coming to be from Nick and Max talking. They both have daughters around the same age, and they were at one of the daughters' birthday parties. And Nick went up to Max and said, "Hey, you really love beer. You make amazing beer. Would you want to start a brewery with me?" And Max said, "Why not?" So Medford Brewing Company came to be. And basically from there, they've started coming out with 4 different styles: the American Pale Ale, the IPA, the Golden Ale, and the Double IPA. So the Pale Ale is a 6% American Pale Ale with Mosaic and Citra hops. So Mosaic and Citra are very common hops, and the 4 main ingredients of beer, if everyone's not aware, are water, hops, yeast, and grain. So with that, basically, you're going to be able to brew your beer, get all the residual sugars, and ferment the sugars into alcohol. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the beers next, just so you can have a little more info on that. We have our wonderful American Pale Ale, our IPA, and I don't have the Golden and Double available for pictures, but very similar logos. All of our packages are available in 16-ounce cans. But I'll start out with the American Pale Ale. It's a 6% pale ale, like I said. Light, easy drinking, not too overpowering, but still very smooth for your average beer drinker. Then we have the 7.2% India Pale Ale, which is a little more of an English-style pale ale, so a little more malt-forward, a little more thick, and a little more full-bodied. And then we have our Golden Ale, which is our lightest of the 4 beers, which is super drinkable, very light, crisp, nice summer crushable beer that you can have 3 or 4 of and enjoy yourself. And then last but not least, we have our Double IPA, which I call basically the cream of the crop because it's 8.4% ABV. And ABV means alcohol by volume. It's very light, even though it is on the heavier side. It's very juicy, citrusy, not too overpowering, but still smooth. And it's one of those beers that you can have 1 or 2 of and then you're done for the night. So next I'm going to talk about what's next for the brewery. So because we contract brew, it doesn't give us a lot of options to sell our beer to the consumers directly. We have to go through our distribution network. And in 2018, we signed on with Atlantic Distributing, which is one of the biggest craft beer distributors in Massachusetts. And they send all of our beers out to liquor stores, to bars, restaurants, and different events. That way we can spread the good word of Medford beer. And then with that, we're planning on opening a brick and mortar site in the next couple of months in Medford Square. I'm actually going to be giving you guys a little inside scoop that my boss told me not to, but I'm going to anyway. So if anyone asks, you didn't hear it from me. But Medford Brewing Company will be opening in Medford Square hopefully by January. We have a facility next to a wonderful restaurant called Carol's that we're going to be teaming up with to be able to get the best quality food dining experience and still having a great craft beer tap room open as well. And the only thing that comes with that is the cost of the facility. Generally, with us planning out the facility, we had to do a lot of crowdfunding. We ended up raising almost $200,000 in crowdfunding, and we, on the second round, the first round was over $700,000 in crowdfunding. The brewery itself, even for such a smaller batch brewery than, say, your typical brewery such as Sam Adams or Harpoon, it's going to be a little less money to be able to produce a little less beer, but we'll be producing beer a lot more often, generally 3 to 4 times a week. And with that, our brewery is going to cost anywhere from $750,000 to $800,000 just to get up and running, everything, operating costs and all that throughout the first year. So it's going to cost a lot of money, and we're going to have to sell a lot of beer, which is where I come in. I do all the sales, I do all the tastings. I'm the one who's selling most of these products into the liquor stores and bars and doing events like that. So if you're ever at a restaurant and you want a really nice, easy drinking beer in the Boston area, definitely recommend Medford Brewing Company. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I've also attached a slideshow kind of going over everything I've spoken about today. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I am more than happy to answer any questions that you may or may not have. And you can reach me either through Blackboard or through my email. My email is jwilliams10@fisher.edu. And I really appreciate you guys taking the time to hear me out on my speech.